You're not going to be able to feed your family by the end of the year, and here's why. I was presenting at another ag show yesterday, continuing the conversation from last week about running out of food by the end of the year. And it was no great shock to me that many people in my field, farmers and other people in the self-sufficiency and homesteading industries, having very similar thoughts and conversations. Hey, have you seen the price of oil? What do you think the ramifications of the price of oil is on our food supply chain? Right now, we have the luxury of eating out of season. You can eat an avocado from here down south, or you can get one from somewhere like Brazil or America. Same with oranges. Well, we don't have oranges in season here, we're shipping them in from America. We have produce from all over the world like Thailand and Egypt, China, to name a few. Have you looked at where those frozen berries come from? Because it ain't from Australia. We all know Australia has some major exports, grain and sheep being among them. We're not the only country that really have singular supplies. We've built a world where we are relying on countries buying and selling food from one another. And unfortunately, a lot of these systems rely on oil, and specifically the price of oil. Cheap oil means that there is the ability to export and import things all over the world without much consequences for you in the economy, at the grocery store, for your food supply chain, or anything else that you rely on for everyday life. So the trend that I see going forward, which I'm not the only one talking about this, is de-industrialization and urbanization. Essentially, mega cities are bad and local economies and local closed loop systems are good. Now, I'm not talking about everybody jumping into a 15-minute city, because that's BS too. The issue with major cities is that there really isn't any food production. Think about it. Where is your food coming from to get to the grocery store if you're living in an urban area? Because really, you're relying on deliveries of food, hoping that you have a food supply chain when you need it. History of the early 2020s have showed us, in actual fact, you're very fragile in the cities, unfortunately. Bus loads of people from urban areas were coming to the country, stealing from country folk. It got so bad that our local grocery store implemented an ID check. You couldn't actually go inside to buy food at the time unless you were a local, because the purchases from people who didn't live in the area were getting too extreme. The other thing that happened during the spicy flu was people were having their groceries stolen from them in car parks. But by the time they got to their car, they were having full carts of groceries stolen off them. And if you're elderly, or if you're a woman on your own, or anyone that's vulnerable, you don't stand a chance. And these supply chain issues are okay, I guess, if you have access to cheap oil and industrial fertilizers for traditional farming. But as we can tell at the moment, this is a major issue. Farmers all over the country are screaming that they can't seed and they can't farm because of lack of fuel for various reasons. And as I said at the beginning, no oil or no cheap oil equals food supply chain issues. And oil just doesn't go into the things we eat. It is literally everywhere. It is fueling the world. From the massive AI data centers that are springing up all over the world to the 250 megawatt industrial battery mega complex that they're looking at building near the Beldivis Forest Park that's worth $500 million. It's unsustainable, it's absurd, and we need to slow it down. The war in Iran isn't stopping anytime soon. We have hit the beginning of World War III, and unfortunately, the next 5 to 10 years or longer is going to have an impact on you, whether you realize it yet or not. So if you're banking on AI saving you, you're shit out of luck. Now, I know this seems like a lot of panic, and I get the inevitable question, what can I do? Everybody, every town, every city, everywhere needs to grow their own food. This used to be the way in the beginning. When we first built cities, they prioritized at least 5 acres of kitchen garden growing space, which would cover you for all of the basic essentials for a year. This was alongside root cellars, spring houses, and livestock areas. I mean, would you prefer a 5-acre major battery or data center near your house, or would you prefer a 5-acre kitchen garden with plenty of food that you and your neighborhood could eat all year? So if you're relying on AI or singular industrialized systems to come along and save you, or think that that's where the future is heading, you are going to be totally screwed. We must start creating circular economies and closed loop supply chains. I'm not kidding when I say that I predict that people will literally begin to starve. Practical skills that every person needs is learning how to grow, preserve, and store whatever it is that they grow. I don't care if you do this from me or do it from somewhere else. whether you employ a professional to help you with that, whether you go to workshops, events, YouTube University, there's a billion ways that you can learn the skill of learning to grow, preserve, and store your own food. If you are not prepared, you will be in a world of hurt, and I do not want that for you. Please make sure you have got the skills that you need, real, practical, implementable, real-world skills, so you can get through the next decade. That's it.